What's up, Funkheads? 2016 had a lot of great pop releases, and I actually made a video for that as well. But this video is going to concentrate on the worst Funko Pop releases of 2016, what I personally found the most disappointing. You may agree or disagree, but this is just my opinion. Before I get into the 5 worst, I'm also going to tell you what I feel was the most disappointing new series overall. But first, here are some dishonorable mentions. The Patriotic Snoopy was an interesting idea. I wanted to get it because look how good this glam looks, but the actual pop itself had maybe the most horrendous paint job that I saw all year. I mean, look at those stripes, and they were all like that. This wasn't just isolated to a couple of pops, you know. Every single Patriotic Snoopy that I saw in person had a horrendous paint job. And for $15, because it is an exclusive, it's just unacceptable. The common version of Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad is one of my favorite pops of the year, but the Hot Topic exclusive, where she's wearing the gown from the club scene, was super disappointing to me. It didn't make my top 5 because I do think the actual gown and the gold paint they used was executed well. I just think that they were majorly lazy when it came to the hair. They just used the same pop head as all the other Harleys, when clearly in that scene her hair is down. They could have easily used the head from another pop and just painted her up like Harley, and it would have looked exactly the same. Kind of like what they did with Dr. Harleen. They used a head from a different pop and just painted it up like Harley, and it looked really good. Here's where I feel a lot of you may disagree, but to me, the Zur&R Batman was kind of an annoying release to me because a lot of people don't even know what the Zur&R Batman is, but the only reason they want it is because it's super rare. I feel like if this was a common release, people wouldn't even want it, and you'd probably see a whole bunch of them on the shelves still. I know there's a lot of hardcore comic fans that know who this character is and would really want this pop, but I don't think this pop ended up in too many hardcore comic book fans' hands because these were all snatched up really quick, immediately put on eBay for over $100, and that is a little annoying to me. I know it's good for there to be rare pieces, but I just think this one is a perfect example of people just wanting something because it's rare, not necessarily because they like the pop. And similar to the Zur&R Batman, it was really super annoying that Qui-Gon Jinn was only limited to 2,000 pieces. It almost felt like a slap to the face for Star Wars collectors. Qui-Gon is one of the best things to come out of the prequels, and for him to be, $300-400 if you want him, really sucks. I really do hope that in the future they do some kind of action pose for him, because this is a character that a lot of people wanted and very few were able to get. I really, really hope that next year they don't do the same thing with Mace Windu, another super popular Jedi from the prequels. If they do that, they're going to piss a whole lot of people off. But yeah, I like this pop. I wish I had it. I just think that the way this was released was super annoying. I don't mind there being super low numbers for some pops, but don't make it such a popular character. Alright, now on to the worst of the worst. One of the things I like about Funko Pops is how simple they are and how creative the designers get to make these pops immediately remind you of the character when they're outside of the package. And honestly, Agent 13 doesn't look like her movie counterpart. I don't even remember her using those little batons in the movie. I don't even remember her using that outfit. Her stance is nice. I mean, it's not a bad pop. She's just such a minor character in the movie that it's kind of lame that they made her and not the main villain, Zemo. That's one thing that annoys me about this pop, is they decided to make this one instead of Baron Zemo, and he is the main villain. Or even Vision. Where's Vision? I know a lot of you really wanted this gold Yellow Ranger, and she's actually quite pricey now, but every single picture I've seen of this one has really, really sloppy metallic paint on it. If you look close here, you see some of it leaking onto her visor. Plus, they put the wrong power coin on her chest, on the metallic and this version. This is one of those instances where this gold one is supposed to be more rare than just the regular metallic Yellow Ranger, but I would rather have the regular metallic Yellow Ranger because I just think it looks better. This one almost looks like a mistake because the gold is so close to yellow, and then just having the teeth on the saber-toothed tiger be yellow too, and her mouth, just looks awful to me. Honestly, I think they should have just made the whole thing gold, which I guess doesn't make much sense either. The gold Yellow Ranger was in the Black Friday mystery boxes, and she was a little bit rare, so if I was a really, really big Power Rangers fan, and I went out and bought, 10 GameStop boxes just to try to get this Yellow Ranger, I'd be pretty disappointed if I finally did get one on my 10th box or something, and it looked like this. The Superman Soldier is like a perfect example of a filler pop, and he feels like he's just designed to get that completionist money. If you bought every single pop in this line except for the Superman Soldier, eventually you're going to want to get him just to complete your set, not because you like him. He's very generic looking outside of the box. I would never guess this was from the BVS movie until maybe I saw that little tiny Superman logo on there. But he just looks like a generic Call of Duty army guy or something. And what bugs me even more is that they decided to make the Superman Soldier, but no Perry White, no Lois Lane, or no Lex Luthor, the main villain. Like him or hate him, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was the main villain, and I think he would actually look kind of cool as a pop. So to have a generic Superman Soldier and not Lex Luthor is pretty lame. I think this one comes as no surprise to any Walking Dead fan. Shane Walsh was one of the most popular characters from the early seasons, and they finally made a pop of him. But it was this. The glam looks boring. That doesn't even look like Shane. I would never guess that was Shane if he was outside of the box. And what's even worse is the way they painted his hair is awful. It looks like they painted it brown and then painted it gray on top of it. The glam was bad, and the actual execution of the pop was even worse. Shane with the longer hair, Cop Shane, Zombie Shane, Shane with the cut-off sleeves and a shotgun, all would have been better choices than this version of Shane. Marjorie Terrell is a pretty decent character on Game of Thrones. I'm surprised they made a pop of her with so many characters still not having a pop from Game of Thrones, but I still don't mind having her, so I ordered her based on this glam, which isn't super exciting, but it's not a bad glam of her. But what made this one so disappointing was the actual way the pop looks. I mean, look at the way they painted her hair on the side of the face. It looks like she has these big, huge mutton chop sideburns. It's awful. And the dress isn't as bright as the glam. Just poorly executed. And maybe the worst paint job on the hair that I have ever seen. I mean, they basically painted her cheeks brown like the hair. And it's not just a couple of pops. They're all like that. And it looks awful. I wish I would have never ordered this pop. And I wish I would have waited to see it in the store, because I would not have bought it. Really, really ugly. The worst series of the year for me that I was kind of excited about is the Mega Man series. The glams look beautiful. Look how shiny and nice those pops look. But the actual execution of them was awful. When I finally saw them in person, the colors were very dull. They weren't shiny at all. Some of the paint applications were missing. And the overall paint job was sloppy. Extremely disappointing. Especially because I think these sculpts are really nice. I think Rush looks really good. Mega Man looks good. Proto Man looks good. Even Dr. Wily. I really wanted this set to be nice. And I think they should have been metallic. But they aren't. They're just super, super dull. And there are quite a few exclusives of Mega Man. But they're all from the same molds. And who wants to have 6, 7 of the exact same pop when it's this simple? I mean, if the paint jobs were crazy, kind of like the Batmans, where you got rainbows and you got the Imposters and these zebra Batmans. Those are really crazy. So to me, that makes it less boring that it's the same mold. Plus it's Batman, the original Funko Pop. But the Mega Man Pop is so simple that they really needed to go all out with some super metallic paint jobs on this. I think maybe some different poses, and of course clean paint jobs. The GameStop ones that I saw in person were so bad, and I had to pre-order them, but I just couldn't buy them. I just took my money back because they were really awful. There's the Toy Tokyo one that could have been cool. I never saw that one in person. And there was a couple more in the Black Friday mystery boxes. I actually have the pink one. I did like the pink one, but you know, pink is a bright color, but it's still not spectacular looking. And then they had a retro one. I don't even know why there's a retro one. Maybe it should have been kind of like green and gray, kind of mimicking the Game Boy, because I know there was a Mega Man on the Game Boy, but I don't remember a black and white Mega Man. Not sure why they decided to go with a retro Mega Man in black and white. Doesn't make much sense to me. But the point is, I think these wouldn't have been so bad if Funko wasn't lazy and actually made them all have different poses. Like, look at these Mega Mans from a Mega Man board game. They're actually all the original Mega Man, all blue and light blue, but they all have different classic Mega Man poses, and I think it looks really good. I would definitely want to have all the Mega Mans if they all had different poses, a shooting pose, a jumping pose, a running pose, a crouching pose. Would have looked really nice, especially because they're simple pops, so you have to make them come alive somehow. So for those reasons, this was the most disappointing new series for me. Alright guys, that was the worst of 2016. Let me know if you agree or disagree, if you feel like I left a pop out that you really hated this year, or if you feel some of my criticism was unfair, or whatever else you want to say. Thanks for watching and have a good one.